Welcome back.
Hey.
I'm your host today, Roger Rogelio, with my boys Mario and Randy. We're going to talk about something a little bit controversial. Um, Stand by.
Talks.
Welcome back. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great, man.
Great.
It's been such a
Yeah,
controversial podcast that we have been.
past couple weeks, right?
Oh yeah, we've
yeah.
been engaging, and hopefully you guys out there viewing our podcast, hopefully that we do get your comments, your insights, because we'd love to understand everybody's point of view.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
We may not agree or disagree,
Yeah.
but that's the main purpose of
That's
this.
the nature of this.
Yeah, just for more education, more
Yeah.
hopefully collaboration and more understanding where people are actually coming from. So there's two comments that I'd like to put up.
Yeah.
This one.
You got one up right now, right?
Yeah, one up right
Let's show that comment about DEI.
Okay, this is the comment. It's basically saying DEI is racism by semi-slow man.
Okay.
Ask a white person how much guilt they have been told to have. White guy doesn't get hired because there are too many whites. Is racist no matter how hard you try to paint it as something else. If diversity isn't natural, it's fake, it's satanic, it's not American, it's how the dehumanization of the Jews started in Germany. My opinion, if you like DEI by force, you are unwittingly participating in evil and should do some soul searching.
That's a little deep.
That is pretty
Yeah.
deep in it.
That's deep. But thank you for your comment.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Appreciate the comment.
Yeah, appreciate the comment. Thank you for sharing your views.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that? What he said?
I think it makes sense. I mean, I think when he talks about the way he talked about DEI, I think he missed a point where whites are included in that diversity.
Okay.
My opinion.
The
Again,
way it's read.
the way it's read.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
he includes, excluded the white in there.
From
My opinion.
From the DEI idea. Okay.
I think my opinion is there is some good points that he mentioned. If you selectively push minorities under the DEI umbrella, then they'll be left out, right? I can see that, but what we're talking about, or what I'm talking about, as far as DEI as an education piece, is including all races, which includes the white. He said, however you want to paint it as evil. Okay, I see his point there as well. Again, that's excluding the white piece. But what I'm trying to say is, if we teach each other diversity is strength based on all races,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just minority. I'm talking about to include all walks of life,
All walks of life.
everything. Then there's strength in there. That's my opinion.
Nice. Okay.
So I don't know, if he's talking about the same thing or he's just excluding the white race
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
And he may be also talking about coming from experience.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
By,
Yeah.
personal.
Right.
I can't see that from the comment.
Right.
But-
But it could be. Yeah.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Could mean a lot in there.
it could
yeah.
it could mean a lot. What do you think?
Well, I mean,
Based on just the comment.
yeah, just based on the comment. I mean, I like Mario said, I do see the point.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think if you're talking about like when you're talking about DEI,
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't exclude anyone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's what I think he see it as being excluded. I think that's his main topic is we're gonna do DEI, but you basically excluding, like Mario said,
Yeah.
excluding the white race, which is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you are taking away that one
It
group.
kind of defeating the purpose.
I know, right? From the diversity
From
standpoint.
this diversity standpoint, if you take away that one race, then I mean,
What's the point?
What's the point
Yeah.
of DI?
I
Or is it because DI is only directed to colored people? I don't know.
Which shouldn't be. Though.
is it?
It shouldn't be.
It
but-
shouldn't.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
be. It
Yeah.
should be celebrating Americans
Melting pot.
from different walks of life,
Yeah. Including the white
including
race.
the white
Yeah.
race.
I like that. I like that. I know you don't have the comment up, but can you pull up one comment from our previous podcast regarding ICE?
Oh, okay. That kind of ties into this.
Yeah, I just want.
Okay.
I mean, so now we're talking about don't exclude
yeah.
the whites based on what he said.
Yeah.
Because it's not diverse
Yeah.
and it's quite evil,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Which one you talking about?
The one right there
This one? Hold on.
from Lawrence.
Hold on. This one right here. Yeah.
That one right there. So
Lawrence.
it
What did Lawrence
says,
say?
just to put in context,
Okay.
we were talking about ICE raids.
Right.
And the comment was, so three of you are legal immigrants,
Right.
but don't have American blood. Now, it's his comment, I don't read in all caps, but it's all in caps.
Yeah.
Exclamation point. So how do you feel in terms of the diversity, equity, and
Yeah.
inclusion, that comment that says that you three are Filipino immigrants and don't have American blood. So-
Okay.
What does that mean, right?
What does that
As
mean?
far as in DI's perspective.
In the perspective, which we're talking about another hot topic regarding
yeah.
illegal crossing borders,
Right.
ICE
Yeah.
raids, and what's going on. So, in terms of diversity or even inclusion,
Yeah.
do we have the right? Because we don't, to talk about it, or since we don't have American blood, we're excluded to talk about that part. I don't know if I'm stretching to tie it with DAI, but
I mean, I think there is justification to kind of tie it to DEI because if you think about it, there's no diversity without immigration,
there's no diversity without immigration.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
If you
true.
think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It wouldn't be created if it was
because the only way that you
yeah,
can have diversity
If you have
is
different-
if you have
different.
different, people from different walks of life go into your country, basically, right?
Okay.
Yes.
For example, Japan, they've been closed off outside from the outside world for centuries until the black sails came into Japan, and Captain Cook or whoever it was introduced the foreign trade
Yeah.
to Japan. So they're exclusively Japanese until foreign entities came aboard, right? So they wouldn't, but at that time they weren't diverse. Now they're diverse
Now they're
in a
diverse.
sense, right? Because you have foreign. So the same thing with America. I don't think we were diverse before because you only have the Indians, right? Until the Puritans came, Amerigo Vespucci came, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we became a country of diverse people. But there is tied to the racism thing about that, right? So you have this country with all Native Americans. Now you have all these people from Europe, and oh, by the way, slaves from Africa, China, Philippines, and all that stuff going to this country. That ideas clash, and that's how you end up having racism, right? The
Because you start excluding people,
they start excluding people, right?
and the majority,
is
Ruling.
right?
Yeah.
So but if you flip flop it, right? It's the same. It's pretty much the same thing. If let's say it's white Europeans settled in America, since dinosaur ages, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Say the country is, and then the Indians or the Native Americans or native came in, conquered, blah blah blah. There would be
The ruling class.
the ruling class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So I think DEI, in that sense, with the clashing ideas, is evil. Right.
Okay.
But if you have the education, my point being is having the education of having diversity and the strength, that would be a positive DEI. The positive diversity, positive. But I do have a problem with the equity piece,
Okay.
right? The diversity, I have no problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
The
of course.
equity piece, I kind of have. I'm somewhat have a problem with that because not everybody's equal,
Yes.
Yes.
Skill
right?
wise,
Skill wise,
especially in the job. Yeah.
right. So and I think I would agree with that piece of DAI as evil per se.
The equity or
The equity piece,
the equity piece.
right? That is because I think that again, not everybody's equal. Other people, right? Individuals
Yeah.
and this just the truth, are better than others.
Well,
Yeah.
I think better is not necessarily the word. I think qualification maybe.
Or
is the-
qualification.
yeah.
Or
I
they
think-
have more resources to get to that part, to that level.
To that level.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like qualification as far as we're talking about work here. So
Yeah.
Work,
yeah, or anything
yeah,
really.
anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Like what
Pick one.
what qualifies you to do the job,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because I might have the quality
Yeah.
that you're looking for and you don't.
Right.
Let's say you're white and then I'm white and then you. But if I have both white quality and everything else,
Yeah.
but they want to pick you.
Yeah.
Because-
I can't be a pilot. I don't know how to fly.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So because of I think that's wrong.
I
That's
think-
what I see. It
Yeah,
wrong.
That might be the one thing that he's talking about.
Okay.
The equity part.
Not necessarily
the
the
diversity.
diversity.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's talking about
I completely agree with you. I think having a diversity is really great. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, the army is a great place for diversity.
right.
Yeah. I think when they're talking about equity is understanding and acknowledging that, like you already said, not everybody has the same starting
Equal.
points.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody have different walks of life,
Yeah.
and because of different walks of life, different successes equals different opportunities.
Right.
And I think when they're talking about the equity piece is how to bridge the gap a little bit more from the people that has less opportunities
Okay.
and try to get them closer to the people with
Right.
opportunities. So whatever that gap is.
Right.
So whether that's gonna be education,
or experience.
experience, or you name it.
Right.
Trying to find that gap to be more equitable.
Yeah.
So not saying that, we're I'm gonna pick you because to fill a gap.
Because we
Although
have a-
he's more qualified or
Yeah.
whatever. I think the example is incorrect too. But just what the equity piece is trying to find that gap and try to minimize that gap. Now it's not gonna be. I believe it's not gonna be an instant snap of the finger that the gap's gonna get closed.
Right.
It's a lot more work, whatever work that looks like. Whether if you're talking about economic opportunities that goes through education,
Right.
how to strengthen the education system of said area
Yeah.
to be more comparable
Right.
to this area. Right? I mean, again, this is not an overnight thing.
No.
But I do have some pushback on that.
Yeah.
I think the equity, the way you're talking about it, should be before. Because if we're talking about DEI programs, equity programs in a workplace, right? The gap that you're talking about should be instituted outside of the workplace. For example,
Yes.
educate the education
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
Right. Because once we're talking about corporations and trying to hire people.
Yeah.
And you put the equity piece in that hiring process. Now it becomes a problem because of, hey, we have this requirement. We gotta pick and choose. I'd rather have the merit-based system on that, program
Right.
than that. And then the DEI, the equity piece that you're talking about should be implemented before that phase, I think.
That is, I do agree.
Right.
Have you experienced using your example as a hiring process
Okay.
to where every single letter needed to be checked? Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the army.
The army?
I mean, subconsciously, I think it happened.
Oh, please explain.
Well, like moving in ranks. I'm sure you guys heard this before.
We
Yeah.
talked about this.
I think
We talked about
I think
this.
they had. I've heard this before from someone like, oh, you got promoted because you're Filipino, man. You know what I mean? Someone told me that before. I mean, how do I know that? I don't know. You know
Did
what
you
I mean?
believe it though?
I don't think so because I know what I was bringing on the table.
Yeah.
So do you think?
But I heard that. I'm sure. I don't know if you guys
heard
heard it
about
before.
it. I heard about
Yeah.
it.
But I heard like, yeah, they're looking at the board. They're looking at because remember at one point they actually took away pictures.
Right.
They took away race. They took away.
Yeah.
I think they even took away age. I think or birthday.
Sex.
Right.
Yeah.
They took away everything because they didn't want to see it, just to make sure that they are hiring based off what you have in front of you.
Yeah.
NCR.
Right.
all
I
that
have.
Were you still in when they did that? When they
I've,
block off
I've
everything?
never heard that. Never experienced somebody
Yeah.
tell me that I got promoted because I'm
Well,
brown.
it was like a joking, you know what I mean? But
Were they white?
no, they weren't. You know what I mean? Like,
But I did hear about
it's
it
actually
from-
one of my boys. Like, it's one of those jokes. Like, man,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got promoted 'cause
But I
you know
did
what
hear
mean?
about that
It's
from
not like in a serious
some of my
manner,
sergeant
but-
major friends
Uh-huh.
that actually went to the board.
Yeah.
That
Selectees.
actually board.
Yeah,
Did they
yeah,
actually do that, bro?
They're like, hey, we gotta select. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not
Oh,
gonna say who
wow.
it is.
Wow.
Oh no,
You
freaking.
know.
So they do first-hand account.
Yeah.
You've heard it.
I heard it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if it's true.
Mine is like more like a joke.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but it's not the first time
Well,
people said that.
but-
you know what I mean? But
But I don't know if it's true. I have no proof.
But sometimes in my
that's one of my right. I think that's when I was going to E7.
yeah in my view, jokes, comments, whether true or not,
Half to half.
yes,
have something.
it has
Yeah,
something.
something. Yeah, yeah,
because somebody had said something.
Yes, that
That may
had
have
to,
some
that had to
credi-
come somewhere.
Right. That
Yeah,
has some credibility.
Yes.
So now come to think of it, now that we're talking about this,
Yeah.
based on his comments, he might be right.
Ooh.
He might be right.
Which one?
The evil part.
The evil part.
Yeah.
He might be right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like now, like
It is pretty evil if you think about it that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
you think about it now, we're like, hold on.
Is it?
But the army changed when I was going for my first sergeant.
Yeah.
Right? That's when they took away. Well, that kind of gave me a better idea that it is my credential.
Yeah.
Because they did take away sex. They took away sex. Your picture was
Yeah.
taken away. Everything that determines who you are and what you are. They took it away.
Did I tell you? I think I shared
Yeah.
it with you.
Which is great.
I shared this story with you before.
Yeah.
It was Jack Ma, the billionaire,
Yeah.
and he put in his resume
Right.
for his own company.
Okay.
No name, no picture, just qualifications.
Right.
Together with somebody else and other applicants. He didn't get selected.
Talking about the Asian guy, right?
Yeah,
The
The
billionaire.
billionaire.
The billionaire.
Yeah.
He didn't get selected.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's fully
I mean-
qualified.
Oh, he ran it.
Yeah.
It's his. It's
Well-
his.
I don't know what credential he put in there, but I don't know the story. But did he? Because you could be the billionaire owner without the credential.
Oh.
Am I making sense? Like you could be a billionaire
Oh,
with
absolutely.
no credential
Well,
as far as like
not
what
a-
you're looking for.
Understand? Not as an inheritance, but the actual maker. Right? Like him.
Okay, well, what I mean is like who didn't have he didn't. I think a Facebook guy. I don't think he graduated or
Mark.
right. He, no
that's-
college.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. No, they're in college,
or-
but they didn't.
He did.
Or
He,
something he didn't
Harvard
finish.
person, right?
or no. He didn't graduate
No, he
or
didn't.
none of that.
He didn't.
So basically, no credentials to be a
A CEO.
or whatever, like a freaking like whatever he's trying to get, the
Right.
job within the company. That's what I meant. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he did. In this case, he did.
But he did,
Okay,
right?
okay.
What I'm just trying to pinpoint for both.
Yeah.
You know, it's sometimes it's whatever you put down on paper and who you are on paper.
Doesn't matter.
It kind of doesn't matter sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Because ultimately, you're not the one who's reading it. You have to trust someone
To read it.
to read it
Yeah, yeah.
in a panel that has zero bias.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
How would you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then going back to the DEI,
Yeah.
here's another question. Who benefits from DEI?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Now,
Yeah, that's
who
something,
benefits?
Yeah, that's something I need to marinate in my brain and think
That's
about.
a
But that's a
great
good, very good question. Yeah. I don't think I will benefit as a company.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so because now I'm basing off I'm kind of downgrading my quality for just to meet the criteria of DEI.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But remember, there's always a checks and balance.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody, like when we talk about DEI, it seems like we're just really focusing on the DEI aspect.
Yeah.
But, you know, if HR world, you do
Yeah.
have to follow EEO or EO
Yep.
Right.
Equal opportunity. Yeah.
that has more pillars,
Yes.
solid,
Oh yeah, very solid. Yeah.
right? So it's a balancing act for both.
Right.
So-
Do they work in conjunction is one of my questions.
So whoever created it, I guess, is gaining,
Yeah. True.
making a lot of money.
So
Yeah.
I think,
whose idea that is.
and I think I'm gonna go with that commenter.
Yeah.
Diversity good. Equity not good. Inclusion not good. So we need to go back to equal opportunity.
Okay.
I think because equal opportunity doesn't talk about
Anything but the opportunity to
the
do a certain job,
opportunity.
right? To do whatever it is.
Equal opportunity to everybody.
To everybody.
whatever it is.
To whatever it is.
Yeah, whether you're
'Cause if you
female,
talk about-
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because you talk about equity, we have that discussion
Yeah, yeah.
about the equity, and in the inclusion
Yeah.
piece, I can't include somebody that I cannot hire for my job.
Understand.
You know what I mean? Like if they don't have the qualifications. If
Understand.
we're just talking about DEI,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah.
if we talk about equal opportunity,
Yeah.
hell, let's go. If you qualify, let's
Yeah.
rock
Let's
and roll.
let's rock and roll.
let's give you an opportunity
Yeah.
to make it work.
So I think that comment does have merit,
It does have
a lot of merit.
a lot of merit. Based on we're trying to deep dive on that
Yeah, yeah.
on that comment, like
Yeah.
trying to peel the onion. I really wish that the commenter would, you know, give more examples.
He did mention about the Jews in Germany, right?
Nah,
But that's different, I
that's-
think,
Yeah,
because
bro, that's not.
I can go to the history what after World War One, what the Jews happened.
I wouldn't call that as a DEI movement back then.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion. It's just
Straight.
Straight evils.
Straight evil,
That's
straight
evil, yeah.
eradication.
yeah, that's totally different.
There's no justification.
No,
for that one.
I cannot
Yeah.
tie it to both. So whoever the commentator is, I do hope that he comes back and
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
clear that.
Yeah.
clear that
piece out.
path or give more concrete examples, especially now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Nah.
he's leaning on the reverse DEI where they are focusing on Aryan blood being pure. I think.
I
I'm
don't
not-
know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, man.
don't know.
Because
I don't
I've
know.
seen some movies where it says Aryan blah blah. blah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. Here's another question, right? And have you ever had a time to where leadership? I mean, we've all been to leadership positions. Have you ever had a time to where you are seated at a table,
Okay.
but sounds like or felt like you did not belong?
I felt like did not belong. I think the army did a good job
Nah,
not
yeah.
doing that.
Not doing that.
Yeah, I've always been
Yeah.
welcome in either.
Yeah.
Hell, when I was lower ranking, I was told to sit down on the table and talk.
This is good.
Yeah.
Now, go back. Try to remember you guys' tables as companies to where people are on a table qualified platoon sergeants, platoon leaders, commanders, to where comments or ideas coming from whoever,
Yeah.
it's like fucking stupid. Like I don't want to even talk about that. I don't want to even hear it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's quite few of them, huh?
Yeah,
That's always
I
the
was
thing.
I was fortunate. I was in a great organization for a while.
No, there's always gonna be there's always some. It's not always great. You know what
It's
I mean?
not always great,
Yeah,
right?
there's some stuff that's like I don't know about that one. That's stupid. But
Right. What I'm trying to get at
Yeah.
is it's part of being qualified to be on the table, but not being respected to be on that table. So it does come a little bit about on the inclusivity part, the inclusion part.
okay,
You have met all requirements,
right,
but you are not still part of the table.
Okay,
got it.
I think I know what you're
Okay,
talking about.
I see what you're getting at because yeah, okay,
Now,
Well, as a civilian right now.
right. Here's
Yeah.
the thing.
because as a soldier, yeah, I
Right.
get it.
I'm a soldier, I was scared.
Here's the thing to where our views are a little bit different because yes, we do have a military background,
Right,
but once we transition,
right,
you have different eyes of what you have now experienced outside military, whether that's going to be working at the federal level, supporting troops in big posts here,
Yeah.
or straight civilian work, civilian sector,
Right.
whether for profit or non profit.
Right.
So our exposure levels are so different.
right, yes,
Where that's where I'm kind of that's where my personal experience and what I've seen so far is quite different to where does DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion have merit to stay,
right,
and who does it really? Who's the benefactor for the DEI? Maybe I think we discussed this before.
Yeah.
yeah,
The way we roll it out. The way we roll it out. I think that everybody has their differences on how to implement,
yeah,
and it's not a standard. Everybody has their own agendas on how to roll.
how to implement DI?
Yes. To where it gets muggy,
Yeah,
to where the comment becomes, this is evil.
Yeah.
and that's why I think EO is better
I think so.
in
I
that
think so.
aspect. Whatever you
Right.
just said,
I don't think.
in a way,
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
DEI just came about like just a
a couple years ago,
couple
right?
of years ago, as
Yeah.
far as because EO is so different than
EO's
DEI.
was-
Yeah, EEO, EOC, whatever. I mean, that's a huge movement back
It
then.
is.
Back
This is-
then, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like that was supposed to be
Yeah.
the capstone to make sure that we don't have
Right.
any
Discrimination.
inequalities,
Yeah.
but we still do.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna go back to my comment about the equity piece. I think that really is making me think like, wow, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have a pilot, you wanna hire the best pilot ever.
Yeah.
You don't wanna land the plane upside down.
No.
Wink, wink.
I think I don't. That's
You know why? You know why I wink, right?
No. But he was.
Is that something to do?
No, it's he was retired and came
No,
back.
no. There's this thing in Alaska.
Yeah.
No, I saw that.
Yeah, the
I saw
pilot was
Canada, you mean?
Canada?
No,
Oh, Canada.
Yeah,
Canada?
actually,
Canada, the one that flipped over.
was it Toronto?
Yeah,
Toronto.
it was in
Yeah.
Canada.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I know. It's a very difficult topic to put a finger down or a thumb on it
Right.
because everybody implements it differently.
Right.
To be honest, I
So
don't
it could
think
work, is what you're saying. It's just we just need to set a standard to implement it.
I think it would.
I think this is where I kind of detach from this. I
Right.
think it will not work unless we eliminate DEI and call it equal opportunity.
The reason why I believe it would work is because when the civil rights movement and everything was approved
Yeah.
for EO, the first year of EO was not successful. We still had
Because it was
issues.
being implemented the wrong
Right.
way.
No, it's just people don't change that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's general.
I think we can. That's the hardest part is changing individuals.
You know what's
But
funny?
you gotta have again rules of
Yeah.
going back to the
Your rules of
regu-
engagement,
rules and regulations, right?
Yeah.
Which is DI.
Yeah.
Kind of, if you look at it that way, as long as you have that, then
Yeah.
it's changing individual is just not easy to do.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
But you gotta have that solid ground to start with.
I use diversity as an example from my recent hiring,
Right.
right? We have a whole lot of pool. I had like over 50 candidates.
Right.
Out of those 50 candidates, I got to look at qualifications and select
Okay.
who's going to go to the next round.
Okay. Qualifications. Okay.
Right.
That's what you said, right?
Right.
Okay.
In the area that I work at,
Yeah.
majority of people that are seeking jobs
Right.
for that particular position
Yeah.
are Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Asians.
Right. People of color.
How can I have
Yeah.
diversity if that's my pool? I have to go to whatever I have as far as a pool,
Right.
Right.
right? I cannot just go seek someone that is less
Other.
qualified just to say
Just to meet.
Just
Right.
to
It's
meet
not
that-
fair for the rest of
just
It's
to
not
meet
fair
the
for the rest.
criteria for
right.
the DI.
So again, that's why I said it can work because it's in conjunction with both.
Okay.
Right.
You know, you still have a guideline that you need to follow.
Right. I think if they chop it diversity, if we got 50 poll diversity, then you gotta start with diversity and then narrow it down. Then equity, narrow it down. And then inclusion, narrow it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until you get that one, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's. I mean, I'm talking about this, or I'm thinking about the past and where we at right now. I wonder what the future will look like. You know what I mean?
Well, they just took away
So-
DEI, so.
No, I'm talking about like
Where we're
look
gonna
at the
be?
look at the civil movement, right? We
Okay.
went from,
Segregation.
segregation, all that stuff. You mentioned about no Filipinos allowed, hot
Yeah.
dog, whatever. And where we at now? And I think this is the
Nobody's ever going to be happy.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Everybody happy.
But it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah, it's a progress.
It's a progress. But
And that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the future when we're like 90 years old, we'll be looking back and like, that was kind of stupid.
I'm like, what the hell?
I know, right? As
Yeah.
we're talking about with drinking beer with aliens.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
How did you do DI?
Elliot's looking at you like that. You guys are stupid.
Yeah, you're stupid. I don't like you. You're great. Well, that's all we have, folks.
what we got. Yeah.
Please comment, like, subscribe.
We need your help.
We need your help. We need to understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So please don't be embarrassed. Shoot us a comment and let us
Send
know.
it.
Send it.
Yeah.
Fire for effect.
Boom.
Boom. I don't like to be diverse. I like my women diverse.